A few months ago, I stood in front of a wall covered in post-its. The CEO was watching all of this display, almost like artwork. He was really looking at her attentively, really curious, wanted to understand what was going on, and he just couldn't believe it. So at one point, he said, "Wait, this takes 27 days?" Yeah. The actual work took about 3 days, but the rest was just waiting. That's the power of value stream mapping. It makes the invisible visible. Most companies track effort. Few track the wait time, and wait time kills efficiency slowly. Picture this. Customer suggests a new feature. Product reviews it, 2 hours. Then it sits in the backlog for 3 weeks. Implementation gets estimated, let's say an hour. And then it waits for iteration planning. Then it gets built, 16 hours. And then it waits QA for 2 days. And finally, it sits in the release queue for another 2 weeks. Total effort, 23 hours. Total duration, 7 weeks. That's a 1.5% efficiency rate. Digital stream mapping isn't about documenting who does what. It's not a tracking tool for performance purposes, which is a huge misuse of the tool. Having this kind of map allows you to follow the journey of the work itself, where it flows, where it stalls, and what slows it down. Start with one specific stream, not the whole delivery or implementation, something concrete, like from bug report to live fix, or maybe it's a new feature to customer putting it in customers' hands. Begin at the end. What does the customer receive? Then walk backward. What triggered the last step? And before that, and before that. For each step, capture information like what the work is done, what you actually do, how long it takes, very importantly, how long it waits, and how often it flows smoothly or gets stuck, gets blocked by something. I once mapped a deployment pipeline. It looked wonderful on paper. Deploy 15 minutes, doing the code reviews an hour, testing 30 minutes. And those are the numbers executives usually hear, the ones that sound great. The reality, code review waited 8 hours. Test environments were blocked 60% of the time. Deployments only run Tuesdays and Fridays. The total wait time, 4 days. Here's where systems thinking kicks in. That code review delay, it showed up everywhere. That testing bottleneck, it delayed bug fixes and new features alike. The cause wasn't obvious. It turned out that junior team members weren't submitting the work confidently. Why? Because they didn't understand the architecture. And the reason was because knowledge lived in silos. So what looked like a process problem was actually a systems problem. And fixing it didn't mean faster reviews. It meant holding design sessions, the shared architecture, the architecture knowledge with everyone working on the system. That's the kind of insight the value stream mapping unlocks. By showing the full picture, and especially the delays between steps, you finally see the system as a whole, not just the sum of its parts. And then there are feedback loops to consider. One team I worked with started increasing their batch sizes to save time. They recognized that there was overhead in each one of the steps they had to do. So they figured that by putting more things, by packing more things together, they would have less overhead. Well, that meant more changes per release. More changes meant more testing. More testing meant longer delays. Longer delays pushed them towards even bigger batches. That's where they were heading. Well, that's the reason why when teams struggle at first with 2 week iterations, I usually recommend cutting down to 1 week iterations. They always look at me like I'm deaf or insane, and it works every time. The longer iteration cycles lead to bigger batches. They trap the teams in self reinforcing loops. Until you map the system, it's hard to see what is actually going on. Even building the map itself, the exercise, that creates change. When teams see the full workflow, every sticky note, every delay, denial just fades. I watched a senior manager go pale when he saw his 1 day approval process actually averaged 11 days. No debate needed. The map said it all. So, how do you get started? Pick one painful workflow. Gather the people who usually do the work. Use sticky notes or a virtual whiteboard and move through it together, step by step. No hierarchy, no blame, just walk each step together. Don't worry about getting it perfect. The first map will have gaps, and that's okay. The goal is to build a shared understanding, not to achieve academic perfection. And don't stop at mapping the current state. Once you see the mess, resist the urge to fix it immediately. Ask why it evolved. Asking, that's the critical piece. Every delay that you see today once solved a problem. Every handoff gave somebody a safety net. Understand the intent behind each step, then decide what to preserve and what to let go. Done right, the map becomes more than a diagram, it becomes a lever. Every sticky note points to a possible experiment. Every delay becomes a lesson. Every bottleneck invites collaboration. As AI enters the picture, this work becomes mission critical. AI can speed up tasks. And if your system is 90% waiting, that speed means nothing. Worse, it may optimize the wrong things. The teams that thrive won't just move faster, they'll think differently. They'll finally see their systems as living organisms and no longer as static assembly lines. Value stream mapping helps you do that. It's not just a tool, it's a mindset. So, what process will you start mapping? Let us know in the comments. And if you'd like to learn more about eliminating waste using lean principles, pick one of these. I'll be happy to tell you all about it.